Let's get to the bottom line tonight when it comes to our severe weather threat. The #1 concern is going to be for damaging wind gusts as these storms move in. Anywhere from 60 to 75 miles per hour, we think, in pockets along the line. Now, the threat of tornadoes is low, but it's not completely zero, so a spin-up tornado is possible. But I will tell you this, the threat of winds from a small spin-up tornado versus straight-line wind damage, it might be about the same. It could cause the same kind of damage, so you take both of these threats seriously tonight. As far as the timeline, we think maybe 8 p.m. to midnight. That's when the worst of the weather moves through, but really the worst of the weather isn't going to last long at any given point. Once that line clears you, the severe weather threat is going to be over. So tonight, take severe thunderstorm warnings seriously, especially if you live maybe in a place that's got a bunch of tall trees around it or something like that. You may want to treat that almost like a tornado warning, being in that smaller interior room. And make sure you've got your WTVM weather app downloaded and charge those devices up. We could lose power tonight in some of these storms. Right now, we believe the highest concern as that line initially pushes into East Alabama, perhaps spreading across the Chattahoochee River. This is where the winds will likely be the strongest, or at least have the potential to be the strongest. As that line starts to move out of the area, there's still going to be a threat. We can't rule out damaging wind gust or an isolated tornado, but I do think the storms here may be a little bit weaker in places like Cuthbert, Americus, Ellaville, and Butler versus some other communities in the Chattahoochee Valley. So let's look at what's going on right now. We've got storms across our northern counties, raining in Dadeville, back over to Lafayette, Lynette Valley, and West Point, LaGrange, Greenville. Showers and storms in progress. Nothing severe right now, but these storms are having an impact on outdoor plans or the afternoon commute in those counties. There is a little bit of a drift down to the south with those storms. So we're going to watch Lee County, we're going to watch Harris County. Storms get into the northern sections there of those counties fairly soon. Here's the main concern for us out here to the west of us. Right now, crossing the Alabama-Mississippi state line, you see severe thunderstorm warnings out ahead of that. Prolific lightning with these storms. There's about 1,000 lightning strikes in that storm right there north of Meridian. Just a little research on that before the show. So that's crossing I-20 here pretty soon in West Alabama. That's the line that we're going to be tracking into our neck of the woods. And once this moves through, the severe weather threat is going to be over. That's the good news. So let's talk about it with our futurecast. And we're going to stop things here for you and take you hour by hour through tonight. So this is 7 p.m. You see the storm still in our northern counties. By 8 o'clock, the line approaches our East Alabama communities. Then by 9 p.m., you can see it picking up some speed. The forward speed on these storms tonight is going to be very fast. They'll be moving through LaGrange, moving through Auburn, Opelika, parts of Macon and Bullitt counties down in East Alabama. By 10 o'clock, you see it making that progress, then weakening a bit as it starts to exit the Chattahoochee Valley. Then some lingering showers behind it, but no more of a severe weather threat into the overnight. Now for your Wednesday, this will be a day that will have a chance at rain, maybe a few more storms, but nothing on the severe side. And there's plenty of warm, moist air to fuel those showers and storms. How about these temperatures right now? Very summer-like, and those humidity values also very summer-like, with heat index values right now in the mid and upper 90s across the Chattahoochee Valley. So an alert center action day tonight. After midnight, the threat is over or ending. Much better weather later on this week. Thursday, Friday looking cooler. Lows back in the 40s and 50s Friday and Saturday morning. And how about your Mother's Day? 85, some sun and clouds. Great day for mom out there on Sunday, guys.
Yeah, but very active start to the week, but gonna calm down.
It is going to calm down, and that's going to last all the way into that weekend too, which is good news. Stretching from near Alexander City back down into western Lee County and now just west of Tuskegee, that is a band of very intense storms. We know that this has already caused wind gusts upward of about 58 to 60 miles per hour out at the Montgomery Airport. I believe if we had more information from up here, we would find the wind may have been a bit stronger on the northern side of that line.
This area of blue, I'll highlight this for you. This is definitely a signature that we don't like to see. This would mean winds that are moving towards the radar at a very fast pace.
On the app tonight, if you want to make sure that you're getting those alerts from us, there's a menu in the upper right-hand part of the app. Go to Settings, and when you're in Settings, make sure Storm Team Alerts is turned on. That's how you're going to get those push alerts from us. And if you want to make sure that it's set up for the right location, same menu, just go to Location. Make sure it says Follow Me. That means you're going to get alerts right where you are should that severe weather threaten. There's kind of the city center. You see that lightning strike. That's a live lightning bolt showing up. Cary Woods Elementary School, the junior high school, the basketball stadium down here. Again, if you're out ahead of that, Auburn High. If you're out toward Opelika, up Pepperell Parkway toward the city of Opelika, you're in line for this next. It's going to cross over the Chattahoochee River fairly soon. You've got Lynette Valley, West Point, LaGrange. You've got anywhere in Harris County, Muskogee County, including Columbus, Crawford, Ladonia, all cities out ahead of this.
Hey Derek, we're at the Good Old Boys restaurant in Lee County, just south of Auburn. We actually tried to get somewhere away from trees just in case any of these trees come down. Torrential rains right now, very strong winds, lots of lightning as well. We're seeing many people start to pull off over here just because the road conditions are really starting to get a lot worse.
You're going to see a prolific lightning show. You're going to see just buckets and buckets of rain. There's the lightning that keeps flashing there, distorting the shot. You see a few people out here on the road. We, of course, encourage you not to be out on the road if you don't have to be out ahead of this thing. Now, once again, here's the good news. We always try to break this down for you when we have a big severe weather event. Not everybody is going to see that. Not everybody is going to see that kind of weather as this moves through. Not everyone in these counties will experience that. It's going to be little pockets along that line that are going to have winds that can get up to that level. They need to be inside building as this thing comes through, not under the concession stand, not in a dugout or something like that. That's not a safe place. We want you inside a building of some sort. It's so hard to convey that idea, but when you see a severe thunderstorm warning, a lot of people say, oh good, it's just a wind threat, it's not a tornado threat. That's not what we want you to think tonight. We want you to think, okay, there's a risk here of very strong winds. Regardless of how they get there, it's a possibility that they're going to cause some damage. That's approaching Interstate 185. If you're anywhere on 185, we're going to say north of exit 7, the Manchester Expressway exit. That's what's going to see the worst of the weather first. Then the southern extent of the interstate will see the weather come in just a bit. If you live near a bunch of large trees and you've ever been concerned about those trees falling down in bad weather, these could be the kind of winds that could do it. So you may want to go ahead and move into that interior room until this line passes you by. Once again, that threat is not going to last for very long. And the worst of the weather is moving into the government center right now. And we can hear the rain here at Midtown. Look at that. Power flashes.
Oh, wow.
So that's the wind that's blowing the power lines around by those transformers, and you're getting those flashes. So the power is going out in parts of Phoenix City. So this is the bridge leading into Phoenix City. You can see it's gone dark over here. And I think we're going to see some of these communities go dark too as these winds continue to pick up. Solomon Road, Flat Rock Park, lots of subdivisions in there in between Manchester and J.R. Allen. That's an area where we're going to see very strong winds moving through as we speak. Lots of lightning. You're going to see some winds that may approach 60 or 70 miles per hour. That bends back down to the south too, down into South Columbus, Wesley Heights Elementary School. This is about to move into your location. Chautauqua Road, the Technology Parkway, all of Fort Benning's property here in Muskogee County. It hasn't made it there yet, but it's on the way south of Upatoy. But the interchange between Interstate 85 and 185, that's where some of the heaviest rain is moving over right now. As we mentioned, Pine Mountain a little earlier, there's Manchester, there's Warm Springs right there. Anywhere around FDR State Park, Woodbury, we mentioned you, Greenville, Gay, Georgia here. All of those communities are going to be in the path of these winds as they swing through. And once again, power outages could be likely here. Winds approaching 60 to 70 miles per hour. And we know just in Muskogee County, we've got 16,000 people without power over on the Georgia side, with additional power outages likely to come as that rain moves on through. Sometimes that rain-cooled air is kicking up some leaves or some dust or something like that. When the radar beam hits it, it shows up as this thin little green line. And you're going to see this a lot in the summertime when we get thunderstorms around here popping up in the summer. What this does is that little rush of cool air goes out ahead of the storms. It can contain some of the strongest winds sometimes. If we have pictures or video that you can send to us after those storms move out, you can show us what happened, trees down, things like that. We, of course, would love to see it. Notice, too, some of these updates that we've got up here, these video updates. Every time there's a warning, our app will automatically generate a video and send out your way. So we've got a couple of those here showing up at the top of the app tonight, these warnings that have popped up. Let's look at the radar view. Right now our temperature is down to 66 degrees. We were up at 88 earlier today. down to 66 now. Here's how the radar view looks on the app, and you can turn on and off all kinds of things on here for you. If you don't want to see those warnings, if you don't want to see the watch, you can go into a layer and turn that off so you can see the radar view better. When we start the news on WXTX, the first thing that you're going to see is weather. We're going to talk about if there's any sort of threat still left out there, and we're going to keep an eye on the line as it moves through these counties that are still left. But we've noticed the overall concern drop a bit as this line is pushed over into our eastern counties.